morning, everybody. I'm Ed Priola. I'm a candidate for the State House of Delegates, District 13. In the early 1990s, I helped put term limits on 15 state legislatures, and I'd like to bring that same effort here to Maryland. It's great to see you here in support of this. Term limits go back to the ancient days of Greece and Rome. They're nothing new, to the republics of Greece and Rome. We placed term limits on our presidency via the 22nd Amendment. Before that, it was a tradition. George Washington established that tradition. Thomas Jefferson supported it, and I think it's good enough for them. It's good enough for us. Like you, I'm fed up with non-representative government, the kind we have in Annapolis today. I believe it's time to return to what our forefathers had in mind when they formed our nation. Namely, representatives that would come to the state capitals, serve for a brief period, and then return to the lives they left behind to live under the laws they passed for the rest of us. As I mentioned, 15 states have term limits. It's time for Maryland to do the same, and I hope that by our pledge signing ceremony today, we're going to begin the caucus of what will happen. We'll begin the caucus for the term limit legislation starting in January. Our modest proposal, so it's clear, is the same as we have for our state governor: 2 consecutive terms. Then you've got to sit out and live under the laws that you pass for everybody else. You can come back to that office after you sit that one term out, or alternatively, you can run for another office. A delegate could run for a senator, for example, a Senate position, for example, or vice versa. The point is that you get out, you get the experience, you live under the laws that you pass for everybody else, you earn a paycheck. We start our first speaker up here, Dee Hodges, the former director of the Tax Association for Maryland and a candidate for Senate.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dee Hodges. I'm a candidate for State Senate in Baltimore County, the Parkville, Perry Hall, Fullerton, Overlea, and parts of Rosedale communities. I am chairman of the Maryland Taxpayers Association, and for years I've testified in Annapolis about sanity, fiscal sanity, usually, and about lower taxes because we've been driving business out of our state. In Baltimore County, we have the second most aging county in the nation, and that is a result of the fact that so many businesses have been driven away. It used to be that young people saw their futures in the Baltimore area, and now maybe 2/3 of them are leaving the state, certainly leaving to other counties which are less expensive than Baltimore County, and maybe where the job that they find is. On the term limit idea, I think it goes along with this issue of Annapolis having been anti-business for years, and it goes back to driving jobs out of the state. When legislators become elected over and over again, I think we have at least one legislator that's been there for maybe 50 years. They tend to become part of the government. They become an employee rather than a representative of their local constituents. It is said by some people who don't like term limits that the staff would take over if there was such a thing as term limits. However, I think that the nature of an elected person who sees that his future destiny is to go back and live among his constituents and go back to whatever his livelihood was, or perhaps have to run and fight hard for another office and prove that he was effective on behalf of his constituents, is not likely to let the staff really take over. He or she is going to be assertive on behalf of their constituents rather than on behalf of the special interest, which is government. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you, Dee. Over here, too. We got here, Dee. Okay. Thank you.